I think you do have to keep in mind, like, firstly, your own limitations, secondly, how people you're close to and how people around you can help you. I know there's a huge stigma against this in like Asia's education system where like you don't want to look bad in front of your peers. Hey, I'm Justin. I went to the Loomis Chaffee School in Connecticut, USA, so a lot of the context that I'll be giving here might serve you better if you also attend boarding school. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to reach out to find resources at school. I'm going to talk about both academic resources and resources for extracurricular involvement. So firstly, I'd say in terms of finding resources, just start with the obvious ones. A lot of the times there isn't any like reaching out required to find resources because student organizations are dependent on students, right? The success of a particular club is defined by the number of club members that it has, by the number of people on its managerial team. Therefore, I think a lot of student organizations are just going to like post what they're doing on social media. They're going to email a bunch of different student groups, and you can find these messages in your email inboxes or student newsletters. For extracurricular involvement in Loomis, for example, you have the Daily Bulletin, which is like a daily newsletter where student clubs advertise their own content to the rest of the school community, where student events are posted there as well. That's a great way for you to get involved. Secondly, we also have resources for like academic support. There are student staffed groups on campus, such as like the Quantitative and Science Resource Center, such as the Writing Studio. These are also great ways for you to get academic resources. I think it's important to like make the connections so that it's easy to ask for resources. Because if you want to be really successful in a specific department, you have to get to know the faculty members. And why is this? I think there's three reasons. Firstly, that you get far more access, right? There's certain limits as to what you can accomplish as a student club if you don't have faculty support. For example, I ran the Hourglass, which is a foreign affairs and history publication at Loomis. For you to actually magnify your impact, you need teachers to back you up with printing and publishing, with website management. And I think that's where the importance comes in terms of like networking and getting to know the faculty members that hopefully will be in charge of your particular club. How do you do this? I think the best way to do this is for you to demonstrate academic interest. Like, you don't want to shy away from asking questions and engaging in conversation. I know there's a huge stigma against this in like Asia's education system where like you don't want to look bad in front of your peers, but I think this is the norm in boarding school, and it's something that you notice the moment you step into the classroom where everybody's getting involved, where you have like hardness discussions with like 10-15 students talking at the same time. Second and third reason for why faculty members are important is firstly that there's like a barrier of entry, as in like clubs require faculty advisors for them to be clubs in the first place. Therefore, you need this teacher's approval. Thirdly, it's far more easier to get academic assistance when you're approaching like a teacher that you're familiar with. There isn't that need to like suddenly break the ice all over again. You just feel far more comfortable asking for help. The third tip that I have to give is, I guess, to use the people around you, particularly if you're trying to like start a project or start a club. Many teachers also lead a lot of clubs and teams. If you're like close to a particular teacher, or if there's a teacher's teaching style that you really like, you might also want to consider joining the specific student club that they're in charge of. Also, like your friends and peers, as in like people have different skill sets. I think you do have to keep in mind, like, firstly, your own limitations, secondly, how people you're close to and how people around you can help you. I've given you 3 tips today, and I hope you start implementing them. Firstly, to start with the obvious ones, as in what's available and the academic resources that are easily accessible to you. Secondly, to make the connections so that it's easy to ask for these resources. And thirdly, to use the people around you to form common passions. Thank you so much for listening. See you.